perfect mess is my perfect mess. Perfect mess is my perfect mess.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Perfect Mess Podcast. I'm your host, Ray Molina, and this is episode 50. Been a couple of weeks, right? Took some time off, had family in town, had the holidays like everybody else, and now I'm getting back to business. Before we get started, make sure to check out the website. It's raymolina.com. You can check out any books I'm reading, anything I'm up to with regards to the fitness stuff that I do with not only myself, but my kids. I got merchandise up there, any services that you need for my small business, if you're local, anything like that. Anything that has to do with the podcast is also on there as well. So make sure to check that out. It's raymolina.com. My Instagram is It's Ray Molina. That is also my TikTok. Check out my TikTok. It is also dedicated to the Perfect Mess Podcast. So make sure to add me there. And the Perfect Mess Podcast Instagram is at the Perfect Mess Pod. All right. We're also you'll be happy to know, we are fully updated on YouTube now. So every episode, including this one, by the time you hear this, it will be up on YouTube. So all 50 episodes are on YouTube. Please search the Perfect Mess Podcast with Ray Molina on YouTube. All of the episodes are up there. And I also have a bunch of shorts up there too. So I do shorts and I do I've been getting really active with my 90 seconds of inspiration. Those are also up there if you'd like to share them. So again, that's YouTube, and search for the Perfect Mess Podcast with Ray Molina. All right. You know me, sipping on my tea. Like most of you know, I record these at night, sometimes during the day, but at night I find it more peaceful. I find, I don't know, I do my best work at night. So it's a little after 1 o'clock. So anyways, I got a nice shirt on today. If you guys are noticing, if you're on YouTube, I got the Statue of Liberty with the nice American flag in her shades. And just represent, you know what I mean? Representing this great country of ours. So let's just jump into it, man. Let's get into a recap of what's been going on with me, all right? And my kids and my life and, I mean, just everything, all right? So let's do the recap. I am back on 75 Hard, back at it. Today is day 15. I completed it. So, yeah, I have tried this. I've completed it twice. I have stopped in the middle 2 times. They call it fail. I guess you can call it fail. Let's call it what it is. But I had to stop one time because I had a concussion. And then I believe I had COVID. And then the one prior to that, I just flat out failed. So this is my 5th time that I'm going to try it. And this is hopefully will be the 3rd time I complete it. And I'm already seeing results. I'm already seeing, my sharpness coming back. I'm already seeing the weight go down. I'm seeing my strength come back. So I'm really excited about being on 75 Hard. If you follow me on Instagram, you see everything that I share. I share the vitamins that I've been taking. I share that, I'm mainly, what I'm trying on this go round of 75 Hard is I'm trying to chill on the running and I'm doing more walking. But what I'm doing is I'm using a ruck. If you're not familiar with a ruck, it's a weighted bag. So I'm doing that, and I've been doing about 35 pounds on that. So I can basically do about 45 minutes around the park. So I got a 35 pound ruck. Underneath my shirt, I have a sweat vest, which I zip up and it compresses my chest and my back and everything, and it makes me sweat a lot. And then I put my t-shirt on, then I put a hoodie on, and then the rucksack, and then I go do it. So that's something that I'm trying instead of the running this time. because I've been talking to a few people and they said, try walking for 30 minutes and you will see a dramatic change. So I'm going to switch it up this time. All right. So that's what I've been doing. I've also been doing a lot of hiking. If you're on my Instagram, you notice I've been doing hiking again. I've been doing a lot more hiking. Not that I ever stopped, but I did slow down a bit. Now it's been more frequent where I've been, taking my kids out again, taking a couple of the kids that I mentor with us, and I've also been back on my solo hikes. That makes me excited and makes me happy because there's something about going on a hike by yourself. I just feel like there's just a connection. Like you disconnect from, you know, the city life, maybe all the things that are going on in your head in your personal life, and then you get out there and connect with nature. You know what I mean? And there's just a lot of clarity when you do that. I find that I write, read, come up with ideas, and all kinds of different things while I'm doing that. So I've done a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, a few solo hikes recently. And that's another thing that I've been adding to my 75 hard workout. My last hike, though, I was a little nervous because I went up to Sierra and I did the Picardo Loop Trail, which is at the very top of Sierra over here in San Jose. Super high, but I did the Picardo Trail. And what got me a little nervous was they had posted a sign that a mountain lion had been seen 7 days prior to me going out there. And then someone else told me that they saw a mountain lion. It was a pretty good sized one. He kind of stayed up on the ridge, didn't do anything, was just kind of watching people. I know, that's crazy. I still did the hike. I keep spray on me now. I got a knife. I know the kind of things that you got to do in order to keep yourself safe. You just never know with these animals, and that's kind of a risk you take when you go on a solo hike by yourself. They highly recommend that you don't do that, but I don't have a lot of friends who like hiking. Um, if if people go with me, it's usually someone that is not too comfortable with hiking, and I'm usually the guy kind of leading the way. So when I'm not with my kids are really good at hiking. I usually go by myself. So yeah, I was a little nervous. There was a few times where I was got really loud when I don't know, I was going under trees, just because you never know if they're up in the trees, kind of watching you or whatever. So I was making sure that I was getting really loud, talking, making sounds and whatnot, so I didn't startle it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a little weird, man. I was documenting the whole thing on Instagram, and people were like, "Bro, you're crazy. Like you're hiking by yourself. You're crazy. I hope you have a gun." Matter of fact, my cousin out in Texas messaged me. He's like, "Bro, I hope you're strapped up." And I'm like, "Yo, this is California, man. Like we can't just strap up in California. We'll go to prison." I go, "This ain't Texas. I wish it was Texas, because I would definitely be strapped up going hiking, but it's just not. It's just not the way it works out here." So that was kind of funny. Texas is a whole nother world. I've been there plenty of times. Got a lot of family that love Texas. So if you're listening from Texas, shout out to you. Um, let's talk about what I'm reading for 75 Hard right now. Um, right here, man. I am reading Mo Made Blues. I'll show it to you on YouTube right here. This is the World According to Questlove. My boy Trey bought this for me, and I'm finally getting around to reading it. And I am about 3/4 of the way through this thing. It is really good. It is really teaching me the struggle that Quest and the Roots, especially Quest, went through to somehow fit into hip hop and what was going on during that time with the Tupac and Biggie thing, and Puffy, and I mean Puff Daddy from Bad Boy, and how they had to navigate through all this, Outkast and the Fugees. It was very hard for this group to navigate through all that, and it just taught me a lot about, being that I also come from the music industry. Like it just taught me a lot about patience, man. People that you think are on, they're not necessarily on. It may look like they're on, but they're struggling big time behind the scenes. And yeah, this book is really good. If you are into the history of music, all different types of music, you'll want to check this out. Questlove, I was blown away. I mean, he is very eclectic when it comes to his music collection. I mean, on down to he's a huge Beach Boys fan, which kind of blew my mind. Um, and he liked REM. He liked all kind rock. He liked all kinds of stuff. So, if you're looking for something to kind of that kind of fits that narrative for you, and you want to check this out, I highly recommend it. Again, it's Mo Made of Blues: The World According to Questlove. I highly suggest you check that out. All right. Um, Speaking of books, before I jump off into my next topic, I want to share a really quick story. I'm always talking about signs, and having your radar fine tuned. And what I mean by that is, uh, if you're locked into um, your uh, your connection with God, you guys know that I'm a firm believer in God. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I try to live my life the best way I can according to God. I'm not a Bible thumper. If you 50 episodes in, I think you guys understand that. I don't like Bible thumpers. I don't get down with that. I think that scares a lot of people away from God and the church. But what I mean by being connected is if you're finely tuned with God and you're always connected, and when an opportunity presents itself, you take it. When someone's asking or needs help, and you take that opportunity. Um, and if they have questions, you try to give them the answers to help them out. But not only that, but noticing the little signs along the way, along your journey. And that happened to me the other day. I went to get gas, probably around 1:30 in the morning, at a Shell gas station. And as I'm pumping gas, I look at the bottom of the pump, and there is a book perfectly sitting, leaning against that pump, like someone had placed it there. And it was a book. You're on YouTube, showing it to you. It was a book about the Ten Commandments. I really can't make this up. Like, if you're on YouTube, I'm showing you the book right here. All right, I'm going to bring it in closer. This is the book right here that was sitting at the end of at the end of the pump, at the bottom. And immediately, I looked at it and I looked up and I said, "I see you. I see you." Um, and I got it, and I just acknowledged the sign. I acknowledged, you know, just the reminder. You know what I mean? So I picked it up. Haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna add this to my collection, and I will definitely get to it. But yeah, man, uh, my life is crazy like that because I pride myself on always being connected, always being aware of what's going on with me and my life, always being aware that there are always little instances where God is trying to connect with me, um, and give me guidance throughout my day, throughout my week, my year, whatever it is. And that was one of the times where I felt like it was pretty direct. You know what I mean? So here, let's talk about this. My kids and baseball. Oh man, it's been a trip. So most of you know, if you're listening, my kids are playing travel ball now. Okay, it was quite the jump for them. It was a journey. Let me put this light on. Give me 1 second. Light. All right. See me on YouTube. I'm adjusting this thing. Okay, here we go. All right. Um, it was quite the adjustment for them. They struggled quite a bit hitting the ball. Um, they're used to being two of the best hitters on their teams, and when they went over to travel ball, these kids are throwing heat, throwing gas. Not only that, they're throwing junk too. So having to adjust to that was not easy for my boys. So there was a lot of long rides home, you know, not wanting to talk, upset, not wanting to go eat after the games because they're so mad they're not hitting the ball, and not wanting their teammates to think that they suck. You know how kids are. I don't want my teammates to think that I suck. And as a dad, tell them, you don't suck. You're in a slump right now. This is something new for you. You'll get through it. Well, I'm happy to say, as of the last 2 weeks, man, last two tournaments, my kids are smacking the ball finally, and I am so proud of them. Uh, been taking them to the cages, working on them, keeping them in the uh, 50. Or Jaden, I keep him in the 50 cage because he's a younger one, and they don't really throw faster than like 45, 50. So I keep him at 50. But I've also thrown him in the 70 cage, and he's hit a few in the 70. Jordan, I keep him in the 70, 80 range so he can just stay at that, so he's not surprised by any of the speed or anything that he's going to see. And he's been doing well, and it's starting to work because both of them are getting base hits. Jaden got a double and a couple of base hits, and Jordan he's starting to rake, and he's hitting the ball really hard. It's funny because he before the tournament 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, he said, "Dad, I need a new bat." And I played baseball my whole life, and I said, "Hey." He's like, I think it's my bat. It's not. I need a new bat. I need a travel ball bat. And I said, it's not the bat. You're not hitting the ball. I said, so do me a favor. Get a hit. Get a base hit. Get a clean hit. I don't want a fielder's choice. I don't want a grounder that's, with an error. I don't want a little bunt. I want you to get a clean base hit with that bat you have right now. Once you do that, we'll go get a bat. Because right now it is not the bat. You're just missing and you're striking out. He said, okay, cool, deal. What does this kid do? What do you think he did? What do you think he did? The kid goes the first friggin' game and smacks a single past the shortstop. And then he looks at me and he points. And I'm like, man. He comes running off into the dugout after the inning's over. And he says, you said. And he starts laughing. And I'm like, damn it, I owe you a bat. So he's got a bat. And what's cool about him getting the bat is, guys, the bat was $370 something. It was a DeMarini travel ball bat, and I remember when I bought my first $300 bat way back in the day. It's a good feeling, and I know he was pretty excited about it. I made him understand it's a lot of money. I said, hey, this thing's going to have to last you for, another year or so. I go, and then we'll talk about getting another one. But and he's like, I understand. And cool thing is we went out to, I want to say San Leandro, to this baseball warehouse where they have everything. And, Mom pitched in, and Mom's like, let me pitch in as well. So we went halves on getting him a very, very dope bat. Jaden got a new infielder's glove, so they're both excited. What's really cool is not only are they hitting, but man, their defense has been crazy. They're getting very comfortable now. Jordan plays third and left field, and I'll tell you, man, he has been running down balls and making great catches in the outfield, and he's made diving plays at third base. It's kind of been, I'm blown away, man. Sometimes I'm like, man, that's my son out there. And then Jaden is the catcher for his team. And I'll tell you, man, every game he plays, somebody comes up to me and says, yo, is that your kid, the catcher? He is really good. I am enjoying watching him. I'm talking about the opposing team parents and the parents on our team. We're still getting to know everybody that's on our team. But they're doing a great job, and I couldn't be more proud of them. So that's cool. I'm pretty excited that everything's finally coming around. There is a small update with Jaden and Little League. I thought we were done with Little League, but come to find out, With travel ball, the little guys, they don't really play during the spring, which is coming up in February. All the kids usually go back to Little League to play, and then after they come back in the summer and play travel ball again. So I will be back in Little League with Jaden. Jordan will still be playing travel ball. So I will be coaching and have pick up my team again. So the kids that are, if you the parents are listening, I'm coming back. I will be back, and we'll be back at it. Back to business and try to win again. We had a really good team last year, and I'm hoping to build on that because we'll be having quite a few players come back. So Little League will be back in motion, and I'll be coaching again in February. So I'm excited about that. And the league was pretty happy about that too because they thought we were gone. But we're back for at least a year. All right. Moving on. We just had Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. I don't know if you celebrate it. I always celebrate it. I'm very proud of this country. I'm very proud of all my friends and family who are veterans. I'm always proud to talk about anybody that I know that is a veteran. It's just something that I do because it's something that I wanted to be and never got the opportunity to do it. And so days like this, Veterans Day, were very special to me. So every year, what we do is a Veterans Day hike. And I usually wear my grandfather's Marine Corps helmet. And I hike. That thing is heavy, by the way. Anybody listening that's ever wore one of those, try hiking 4 miles with one of those on. It's pretty damn heavy. But I every year I wear the helmet, and then we hike. And that's for my grandfather, out of respect for my grandfather. And I always send him pictures and whatnot. This year we stepped it up though. We took the flag with us, the American flag, and we had it. So I was hiking, with the long the pole on it, and hiking through the trail with this. And what was cool was because it was Veterans Day, we saw so many people with families that wanted to take pictures and wanted to, say hi and acknowledge and just love the fact that it was so festive. The helmet and the flag and they were just saying, "Hey, I'm a veteran. I love what you're doing. Hey, my son's in the Marines right now. My son's in the Army," and just it was really really cool, man. And my kids loved it. And then afterwards, I had it set up to where when we were done, we would do a barbecue. So when we were done, we set up, we make burgers, hot dogs, we had chips and salsa, and we just got to hang out. And then we had the music going, and it was 1, 2, 3, it was 4 of us, 4 boys. So it was me, my 2 sons, Jordan and Jaden, and Duran. Duran is the kid that you guys always see on my Instagram with the really curly hair, and he's like 2 times my height. Yeah, Duran came on out, and we had a good time. It was good to see him again. He just got done with high school football, so he's kind of been coming around a little bit more, which was cool. It's always good to see him. I've known that kid since he was in 5th grade. So the hike went well. Put some very cool pictures up on my Instagram. If you haven't seen them, please go to my Instagram and check them out. It's very cool. A buddy of mine came into town from Texas. He's originally from San Jose, but he came in from Texas. My buddy Albert, man, shout out to Albert. We're at this age now where, for me and my friends, we're at this age now where you don't know how often or how many times you're going to get to see your friends who've moved away. Before let's be honest, man, before we kick the bucket, let's be real. I'm 47 years old. I plan on living a long time, but, let's be honest. I know quite a few people who are suffering from physical ailments and sicknesses, and you just don't know. So I make it a point, and I want to share this with you guys. I make it a point that when someone comes to town and says, "Hey, Ray, I'd love to see you, man. It's been a long time." I make it a point to do my best to try to make sure I do that. It's not always easy. I'm a single father. I have a business that I'm trying to run. I work a lot. I've just always got something going on. But don't we always? We could always find an excuse to not go do things, right? All of us. Um, but I've made it a point that when this happens, to remind myself, take time out of your day or night and go see them, even for if it's for an hour or two or whatever it is. But go see them, spend time, whoever it is, friend, family, whatever, if they're in town. So I did that. I caught up with my boy Albert. He lives out in Texas now, and it was just really good. This was pre 75 hard, so I did have a couple of drinks with him. I'm not a big drinker, but hey, special occasion. Haven't seen him in a couple of years. So it was good to catch up with him. Also caught up with my boy Dave. Boy Dave is a giant. He played basketball at my high school when we were growing up. My boy Mark, shout out to Sharky. Saw him. My boy's a bodybuilder. Played football with him growing up since before high school. Known him for years. He actually worked at the place we went to. And we just hung out, man. And it was just really good to spend time and catch up. It was only, I think, 3 hours, but I'll tell you, it was special, and I highly recommend that if you guys are in a situation where your friends come into town or your family or whatever it is, or if you're the one going out of town, reach out to the people that are in town and say, hey, I'm here. I'd like to see you, whatever, even if it's brief, grab a bite to eat, and it is what it is. You just never know when you're going to see your friends again as you get older. And so I just think it's important that we do that we take these opportunities. All right. So I'm not going to keep harping on that. I think you guys get the point. Let's talk about November 16th. All right. And you're probably like, what the heck's special about November 16th? I started 75 hard, I believe, on the 15th. No, I think I started on the 16th. The 16th marks the day that my kids beat me in running. That has never happened. My kids, both of them together, has never happened. Okay? Jordan is definitely faster than me at the mile right now. But Jaden, when we run the mile, I always stay back and run with him because he can't keep up with Jordan. I did that again this time. We were running together. And I'll tell you right now, and this is no lie, I was running with him wondering, when is this kid going to stop? Because I started to get tired. Remember I told you I was sick for a while, so I'm still trying to get my stamina back from being sick. I haven't been sick in a couple of months now, but I was sick pretty bad. So I'm still like getting my wind back. But the kid didn't stop. He ran 3/4 of a mile with nonstop. We walked, and then he said, "Okay, break." And we walked. He walked for probably 25 seconds, 30 seconds the most, and then said, "Okay, let's go." Counted. He did the 3, 2, 1, and then we take off running again. We did that, and he was gone. He never stopped again. He has never done that before. Jaden has always stopped 5, 6, 7, 8 times running the mile. This time he stopped one time, and I couldn't keep up. I honestly could not keep up. I was really blown away. They took off, and by the time they were done, I was about a quarter, I would want to say a little bit more, well, probably about 75 yards away from them, and they were cheering me on as I was coming in. "Come on, Dad, you can do it. Come on, Dad, let's go." My little guy was like, "Let's go, Dad, push, let's go." Jordan's like, "Come on, Dad, push." And I'll tell you what, man, damn, it was crazy, but it also felt good. I felt like I got a glimpse into what it's gonna be like when I'm really an old man trying to exercise, and they're trying to push Dad to stay healthy and push. I it felt special, man. But I was blown away. My kids beat me. I posted it on Instagram. I shared it, and it just it was the one time when I realized, like, man, everything we've been doing for the last few years, training, it's all coming together. It's all paying off. Because look at them. I didn't expect that to happen anytime soon, and it happened. And I couldn't be more proud, man. You know, if you're familiar with me, or if you're not, and this is the first time you're listening to my podcast, uh, I have been sharing this story about me training my kids for a few years now, and it's crazy to see the work paying off. It's pretty crazy. Um, so that's that. Yeah, they whooped me, man. So I'm, you know, when you guys get older, if you're listening to this, I want you guys to know and remember this day. I love you, and I am so proud of you. I will never forget that day. And I just want you to know that that was a very special day in my life, in our lives. Um, I took pride in the fact that you guys whooped me that day. Moving along. Uh, if you've been following my TikTok, my YouTube, and my Instagram, you know that I have been working on 90 seconds of inspiration a lot more. All right. And the reason why I've been doing that is because it's easier for me to share these 90-second clips and for me to talk and share that, because I feel like they hit harder than doing full on videos for 10, 20, 30 minutes. I think these 90 seconds, they're catching on. A lot of people are sharing them on TikTok. Um, I get a lot of good responses on Instagram. So you're going to see a lot more of that. I've also been putting them up on YouTube. I've been doing YouTube shorts, which are like 30-second shorts. So I've been doing that. And I've been doing quotes from the podcast. So if you've been seeing these black squares with the podcast logo on there and then a quote, those are quotes that I'm taking from old episodes and I'm putting them on there just to kind of share. And if they hit home for anybody, I always appreciate a share. If you like it, it hits home for you, share it on your Instagram, share it on your Facebook, your TikTok, whatever. So I've been getting better at trying to do those things to kind of grow this thing. And I appreciate all of you who continue to share everything that I'm putting out there. All right. I am going to put 90 seconds of inspiration on the podcast on Spotify, Apple, and everywhere else, Google Podcasts, everywhere else that you guys are listening to. I am going to put those up on the server so you guys can listen to those and you can share them real quick with your friends and family or whoever. All right, so those will be going up as well. They won't be episodes. They will just be literally 90 seconds of inspiration. They're not going to be considered an episode. Thanksgiving came and went. Most of you know, I don't have a whole lot of people here in California with me, and I'm really just in California because my kids are here. So Thanksgiving for me and the holidays in general always get a little weird for me. They've gotten better as as I've gone through this process of you know past stuff that I was dealing with, and now that I've gotten better and stronger. Uh, Thanksgiving has gotten easier. Christmas has gotten easier. I usually spend Thanksgiving with my pastor. We've become really good friends. It's more like family with him now. And he always, for the last couple of years, has invited me and my children over to his house, and we eat and share stories and talk and fellowship, and it's always great. So usually the way Thanksgiving works for me is my kids spend the morning and pretty much the early afternoon with their mom and their family, and then I go pick them up and I get the latter part. So usually around 4 or 5, then I pick them up, and then they usually stay with me for the whole night, and and that's how we do that. So if you're wondering what I do with my day prior to picking up my kids, I'll tell you what I started doing for probably the last 3 years, because there was a time when I would stay home and the holidays would mess with me. I started hiking. I started doing an annual Thanksgiving hike, and I did it again this year. This time I did it solo. So I went out to Villa Montalvo. I believe it's out there by Los Gatos. I want to say Saratoga. No, it's Los Gatos. Um, Beautiful hike. Not very long, almost 3 miles. And so I went out there by myself. Hadn't done this trail before. Went out there and did another solo hike and just enjoyed myself. I got some reading in. Uh, you know, packed myself a little sandwich and just like I tell you with all my hikes, it's just a good way to disconnect and reconnect with nature and kind of decompress. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed that, and that's kind of how I deal with my holidays. Um, if you're listening to this and you're kind of new to all this, uh, do yourself a favor and don't stay home and stay in bed until you're able to get your kids or whatever. Keep yourself busy. The holidays are already emotional as it is, and doing that is just not helping yourself. All right, so try to get up and get active and do something to kind of keep you busy until the latter part of your day when you have your children. I highly recommend it. Let's see. Uh, you know, what I really miss about Thanksgiving is I was always the guy who made the turkey. That was my thing. I made the turkey, and everybody else would make all the fixings and whatnot. It's been 5 years since I made a turkey, and I that's the one thing I really do miss. I miss that. I miss being able to do that for my family, and I know I will get there. I know eventually that will change, and I will get back to that, and I'll be able to do that. This is just where my life is right now, and a lot of things are great in my life, and I know that eventually that part will also change. And just gotta have patience. Uh, the bat signal used to go out at my grandmother's house, out where my grandfather lives, out in Elk Grove, and so she used to send out the bat signal, and then everybody would come to the house, and my grandma would make all this food, and we would hang out. And unfortunately, that's she's been gone a while now, and that just doesn't happen anymore. My grandpa's pushing 92, doesn't have a whole lot of energy these days, and life is just it's just different now. So uh, I always appreciate my pastor when he opens his door, him and his wife and their family, and they offer us to come out there and share the holidays with them. That's always special to me. So thank you, Pastor Randy. And yeah, that was my Thanksgiving. The kids and I, we had a great time. I hope you guys did too. I hope you got to see your family. All right. Um, and I hope you didn't. I hope you didn't take little dude. What's his name? Fauci. I hope you didn't take his word and say, "Don't go anywhere. Stay home. Don't see your family." I hope you didn't do that. All right. I hope you went out there and saw your family. I hope you had uh, the opportunity to spend quality time and get together. That's what the holidays are for, and we need to get back to that. That just leads me into you know the COVID thing, and like I always tell you, I hate talking about this because it's just not a good thing, right? It's not something that I enjoy talking about. But unfortunately, this is one of the things that all of us, everybody listening, anybody watching on YouTube, this is something that all of us have in common right now. In some way, shape, or form, we are dealing with COVID. And right now, my biggest issues with COVID are my grandfather, my grandpa Greg, and my aunt Ariel. Um, she's my godmother. So my grandpa Greg, like I tell you guys, he lives in Elk Grove. I haven't been able to see him now, and it's yeah, it's been 2 years now, and it's hard. I've tried everything to get out there to see him, and you know, respectfully, I've had to honor my family's wishes to to not come because they're trying to make sure that he's okay and that he doesn't catch anything and whatnot. So I have to put my views aside and be respectful. Uh, the same thing with my Aunt Ariel. Uh, she is uh, the person that I stay with. Me and my kids stay with out in Arizona when we go to spring training. We do that every year. If you following us, you know that's something that me and my boys do every year. It's an annual trip we do. We do spring training. We go to 3 games, and she hasn't left her home. You know, this thing has affected people um, in different ways. You know, everybody's kind of handled this their own way, and it affected my godmother in a negative way. Uh, it's hard. It's getting difficult. I talked to her a little bit, and she asked me if I was vaccinated. I told her that I won't be getting vaccinated, and I told her that me and my kids, we just have our outlook on that. Um, it's just not something that I feel very positive about. I'm very strongly against it. Um, like I said, I don't judge anybody. Okay, I don't. I think everybody needs to do what they need to do for what's best for them in their life. Um, but she has a completely different view from it, and it's hard. You know, it's hard when it's someone that you love so much. Um, but I understand, and I don't let myself get into a tit for tat trying to convince. I just respect their view. Um, but it's hard. I don't know what else to say. It's hard. I miss the hell out of my grandfather. I talk to him, on the phone, but it's not the same. You know, I talk to my aunt. We text back and forth, and it's not the same. I just hope that something gives. Um, but my aunt, she's glued to the TV, and she's scared. So I'm gonna give an explicit language warning. Okay, I don't cuss a lot on my podcast, but if you are listening and kids are around, and you don't really want to hear them, them to hear me cussing or anything like that, this is an explicit language warning. All right. I want to say fuck the media outlets and the politicians who've scared people to the point that they'll never be the same. Sincerely, I fucking can't stand you guys. I know nobody is the same when it comes to this whole thing that's been going on for the last 2 years. And I know I can't expect everybody to be as strong as me and to have the outlook that I have. But I fucking hate that the media has played such a big role in scaring people. Because some people are not as strong as someone like myself. And when they do shit like that, they don't realize how bad they change people. Some people get so scared that they will never, ever be normal and change and come back to their who they were after something like this. And I hate it. I've seen it with family, and I'm seeing it with friends. And I have acquaintances that have been telling me it's been going on with their friends and family as well. I hate the fact that the media is not just reporting. They are giving opinions. They are pushing a narrative. I fucking hate it. And I pray that something gives here soon. I'm so sick of it. I'm fucking sick of it. And I'm praying to God every day that my grandfather doesn't leave before I get to see him again, before my kids get to see him again. And I'm praying that God restores faith and strength into my aunt so I can see her again, so my kids can see her again. I'm praying for something like that to happen. I'm going to finish this off with the topic of the chance and the choice. When I heard this quote from J.Prince, if you're not familiar with him, he's the CEO of Rap A Lot Records out in Texas, who I'm a huge fan of. When I heard him say, the first time I heard him say this was listening to his audiobook. It was called Respect. Bought the audiobook and I listened to it. And I heard him say this. And then I heard him say it in an interview recently. It made so much sense to me because I think about when you're laying in bed and you wake up. No one promised you were going to wake up, right? No one promised that, hey, you're going to get tomorrow to another chance to do something, okay? Promise you. No one does. You can lay down. I can finish this podcast. I can upload it, and I could lay down at night, and I could never wake up again. But when I heard this quote from J.Prince, it made me imagine laying in bed, waking up, first of all, thanking God for another day, like I always do, and then realizing I got another chance. And you say a chance at what? A chance at whatever it is that you're trying to do with your life. A chance to embark on that journey for that small business you've wanted to start. A chance to change your life when it comes to your health. A chance to reconcile with someone that maybe you've had some problems with. A chance at anything you can imagine. The minute you open your eyes, you've got another chance. But you also have a choice. You could also stay in bed and keep hitting the snooze button and let your day waste away. Don't get me wrong. I've done that. And there are days that I do that still. And I hate myself when I do it. I get so upset when I do that. There are some days where it happens with me. I've gotten way better. I've gotten more disciplined. But it does happen. I'm human. But you have a choice. With what's been going on recently, you have a choice to live in fear. You have a choice to stay home, to be scared. You also have a choice to say, I'm going to live. I'm going to live. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to live my life. I always look at it like this. Do I want to die and not live, meaning experience things and live in fear and just, gosh, I hope everything blows over? Or do I want to die knowing, you know what? I lived life to the fullest. I've done everything that I wanted to do. I've lived. I said this on my Instagram recently. I said, to thank God for being alive and know the difference between being alive and living. because all of us are alive. If you're listening to this, you're alive. But can you really say you're living? There's a big difference. We're all alive, but not all of us are living. And believe it or not, that's a choice. If you're not in prison or in jail, you have a choice. And you have to decide, do I want to live? Do I want to start taking my life and control of it and start doing the things that I've wanted to do? Or do I want to just stay put and not move on anything? The biggest thing from this quote is you got a chance. You got a chance every day you wake up. You got a chance. My kid, I forget what it was we were talking about doing. And Jordan says, "No, I can't do that. I don't think I can do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I can't do it." And I said, "Hey, have you ever done it before?" "No." Then give yourself a chance. Have more faith in yourself. Give yourself a chance. Try it. Don't shoot yourself in the foot already. Give yourself a chance. He did it, succeeded at it. This literally just happened a few days ago. And this is what we get every day that we wake up. You get a chance. I can't express to you guys enough how serious I am about my life these days. I can't. You get one crack at this life. One. I know some people are like, well, you get the afterlife, or maybe you come back. I know, okay? I get it. But I'm talking about you. You look in the mirror, you. You get one crack at this. And what I mean about taking my life so serious is I I have done things to minimize any stress, any tension, any drama. I've done so many things to just keep that stuff away from me. Why? Because I don't want it near me. That is my choice. I am making a conscious choice to control my life and the things that are around me, the things that I'm taking in. Okay? The people that I'm hanging out with. I don't have time for BS. I don't. You know, recently I've met a few people, and to be honest with you, didn't last very long. Why? I'm a very sincere person, okay? I live life, you listening to this podcast, you know I'm very candid. I live life very direct. I don't hide anything. I don't pull no punches. I'm very direct. And when I start to see that there's that disconnect there, or that maybe we're not gelling, or uh, I don't know, there's not a priority there. I listen, if when I want to meet somebody, I make sure they know that. All right? I make sure they know that, and I make time. When I get that other vibe, I cut it. I don't do the games of, hey, I'm gonna see who texts first, or I'm gonna see who calls first, and I'm gonna disappear for a few days, and see if they call. I don't do all that. I don't play those games. And this is what I'm talking about, a choice. This is this has happened recently. You guys may remember a couple of podcasts, not even a couple of quite a few podcasts ago where I talked about what I do when I self-seclude, and I one of the things that I do is I make sure that I block phone numbers. I don't block phone numbers so people can't call me. I block phone numbers so when I am in a situation where I feel weak and I may want to call and see how someone's doing or hang out, I do that so I can't act on that. So I know that the number is blocked, I can't call. And yeah, they can't call me. That's what I've had to do recently because I am making a choice that if if you're gonna play some game and you're gonna waste time or you're gonna see who calls who first or you're gonna I'm just not I don't have time for that. I'm a grown ass man. I'm 47 years old. I got 2 kids. If I want to meet you, I want to meet you. Okay? That's it. If there's no connection, there's no connection. Let's say that. I've had to do that. Same thing with uh with friends. There's just certain friends that I can't be around no more. It doesn't mean that I don't love these people. I love them. And there's a lot of people that I have in my prayers every day. But we're just going in different directions. And for my peace, for my sanity, and for everything that I went through the last 5 years, I like who I am now. And I don't want to compromise that for nobody. And yes, that's going to make some people mad. But you know what? Like this says, it's my choice. I made the choice. I don't want it. That's not easy. It's just not an easy thing to do. Because a lot of that is with family as well. Um, it's just not an easy thing to do. But like I have been saying, all of this stuff, if you want it, you gotta go get it. You gotta fight for it. Your peace is non-negotiable. It's just not. It's non-negotiable. Don't waste your time keeping people around you who don't fill your cup up. Okay? Don't do that. We're not here very long. Spend time with people who are lifting you up, who want to see the better you and support the better you. Okay? Do that. And if you're single like me, the best way to live, in my opinion, just be straight up. Don't lie. Don't run around and play the game or whatever. Just be honest. Let's be real. Just be honest with somebody. You cut all the extra stuff out. Okay? That's also a choice. My choice is very blunt. Like, if there's not a connection or if I feel like someone's playing stupid little get to know you type games, I'm not with all that. I'm just not. I'll be the first. I'll cut it off. I don't owe you an explanation. I'll cut it off. I've done it, and I'll do it again because I firmly believe that God is gonna put the right person. I got a puzzle and I'm missing that piece, and I firmly believe that God is eventually gonna say, hey, by the way, here's that piece, and drop it on my puzzle and say, hey, you're good now. All right. I firmly believe that. So when I get the vibe of, like, hey, we're starting to play games now, okay? I text, you don't text for a few hours or half the day, or it's a text goodnight after the games that, people play with each other. I'm not into that stuff. And you're probably listening going, man, I got that going on right now. Stop, man. What are we talking about? Chances and choices. That's a choice. Okay? Make the choice. Cut it off. Move on. And quit being afraid to be alone. We talked about that. I talked about that on this all the time. It's a big difference of being alone and being lonely. If you can learn how to be alone, all this stuff I'm talking about right here is so much easier because you're able to just brush it off and go, man, hey, I wanted it to work out. I wanted to get to know this person, but all right. Back to doing me again. All right. I could take this conversation in so many different directions. I mean, I've already talked about, the choice to live, to do things that you need to do, with regards to all this stuff going on with this COVID and all this. I always talk about health. Stop procrastinating. That's another thing. You got a chance to change your health every day you wake up. Keep making excuses. Stop. You have a choice. I can get my running shoes on and I can go to the park. If you don't want to run, walk. Put a hoodie on. Sweat it out. 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day. That's a choice. Quit looking in the mirror at yourself and saying, I'm not happy with what I see, but you're not doing anything about it. Okay? I'm back again on 75 Hard, like I told you. I didn't like what I started to see in my body. My body started to slip away a little bit again. It did. And I'm starting to tighten it up again. I didn't like what I seen, so I made the choice. Hey, I'm back on this. I got to get disciplined again. All right? I think that's all I have. We're at an hour now, and I think that's pretty much all I had. You have a chance and a choice. Make sure you take your chance every day, okay? Don't be afraid to shoot for the stars. Take your chance every day you wake up. And make sure you make good choices. If you make a bad choice, acknowledge it. Say, well, that didn't work out. And make sure your next choices are better ones. All right? That's all I have. I love you guys. Okay? I know I always say that. I mean it. Love you guys. Make sure to check out the website, raymolina.com. My Instagram is It's Ray Molina. That is also my TikTok. And the podcast Instagram is at The Perfect Mess Pod. And please check out YouTube and subscribe. Just go to youtube.com, search The Perfect Mess Podcast with Ray Molina, and it'll pop up. And please subscribe there. And I always appreciate reviews, subscriptions, follows, sharing these episodes with your friends. If you do, please tag me. I'd love to hear from you guys, all right? Also, those of you who like to donate, I want to give a shout out to you guys who've been donating. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me, all right? If you want to donate, I use Cash App. It's $ It's Ray Molina. I do have Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. If those are some options that you would like, hit me on my DM, and I'll give you that information, and we can go from there. All right? That's all I have. I will be back shortly with another episode. I love you. Have a very, very blessed day. And like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it's a mess. But for me, it is the perfect mess. Peace.
Perfect mess is my perfect mess. Perfect mess is my perfect